Big Z Reviews. The Whale is a new film from Darren Aronofsky, and the writer is Samuel D. Hunter, who made the plays, was based on, and then adapted the screenplay. And this film is absolutely devastating, but it's also beautiful, and I really enjoyed it.
Where'd you gain all that weight?
Someone close to me passed away, and it had an effect on me.
You haven't seen her since she was 8 years old, and you're gonna reconnect with her?
Sorry.
I don't like this. This isn't a good idea.
I'm sorry.
You say you're sorry one more time, I will shove a knife right into you, I swear to God.
Go ahead. What's it gonna do? My internal organs are 2 feet in at least.
So if you haven't ever seen any of my other videos, or if you've only seen my movie reviews, this movie was kind of especially significant for me because I am in the middle of, so far, a 4-year-long weight loss journey where I started out in the 800s and I've lost 360 pounds around there. And so, according to, the press, in this movie, Brendan Fraser, who's the star of the film, as Charlie, he is listed at, they say that he's a 600-pound man. And as a person, Brendan Fraser is 6'2", and I'm 6'5". So as a person that was well over 600, I think that he was a 700 at least to 800-pound man. But, that doesn't really matter. It's just that he is kind of housebound. He's not bedbound, but he has a tough time getting around his house. And the film is a week in his life. And, they kind of give him a deadline because he's going into cardiac failure. But he doesn't want to go to the hospital. So that it kind of all the people that are in his life kind of rotate in and out. And definitely you can feel the inspiration that was based on a play, because it all takes place in this one apartment. And it's a really excellent film. I wasn't sure how I'd react to it because there is, I have a lot of experience in this sort of life. I mean, I was never housebound. I'm a big guy. I was athletic when I was young, and I was strong. So I was able to get around even at 800 plus pounds. But still, there is, the shame and the sadness and a lot of the shit that comes with being that heavy. And it does it well. There is a couple times when you can maybe say it's slightly fetishistic. That's I understand the idea is either showing, a week in his life, and I think it would be weird to not show him eating, because he has to be. They say that he's bigger than last time he saw me at one point in one character. I know I'm bigger than the last time he saw me, so that means he's eating at an excess of caloric excess, and even if he's not moving at all, that means that he's eating 6,000 calories probably. And so you have to show him eating sometimes. In fact, they probably could have shown him eating more, but I think there's a reasonable amount of eating in this film. So along with Brendan Fraser as Charlie, there is also his daughter, played by Sadie Sink from Netflix's Biggest Show. And they also have Ty Simpkins as Thomas, who is kind of just this follower of this death cult, or the Christian cult that believes that the world is going to end soon, and he's going out a missionary, and he's trying to convert Brendan Fraser. And then there's Hong Chow as Liz, and that is his friend and nurse. And there's just the really tight cast characters. There's also his ex-wife, and there's also you don't really get glimpses, just some pictures of Brendan Fraser's dead boyfriend that is kind of led him to gaining so much weight. And I love that the slow kind of burn of you getting to know, who Charlie is, and then a glimpse into why he is the way, what led to him getting this heavy and being this about to die. And you also see like the people that come in and out, like Sadie Sink as Ellie, like she is a demon girl. She is like a demon. But then like at one point, like she's like, man, that's a little could have taken a little too far with her. But then you kind of see that like maybe there's a tiny bit of a heart of gold in there that might be hiding if maybe Charlie can bring it out. So like and Thomas Ty Simpkins, it's an interesting character. There's a lot of interesting stuff with him and Sadie Sink as well. And Hong Chow, she was amazing as the caretaker, but also kind of like she always brings him food too, so she's kind of an enabler as well. But there's also like a lot of backstory with the characters, and you get to see throughout the week that the movie takes place in, you get to learn more and more about the the cast of characters and Charlie, and it's really well done. And it's probably like the best fat makeup I've ever seen, because it feels like he has that weight. Like, I mean, I think they said that like the prosthetics were like 300 pounds, and I think Brendan Fraser, he's probably like 250, so it's almost up to the 600 pounds they say Charlie is, and you can kind of feel that weight. That if when he has to walk, it feels like he can barely make it. And it's really well done. Again, it's not. I didn't find it to be too like over the top, or like they don't go too far with it. Like there's like this movie starts out with him jacking off to gay porn that gives him having a heart attack, and there's like one scene of him showering with a stick. But there's nothing, and that's something that I would never had to do. But there's just something very honest about it, and like the filmmaking from Darren Aronofsky is like very much like handheld. It makes this small apartment feel like massive kind of, and you get to see like even like there are rooms that are locked in there for some reason that he doesn't go in, and then he unlocks it, and it reveals stuff. Like just that how he's living and how his past and like how this has affected him, and it's just a very well crafted film. I found. I just really loved that Charlie is such like an optimist, and like he believes in this like the worst moment of his life, he can still seize hope in other people, and he's still nice to people. He's like an English teacher that teaches online, and he always tells the students that his camera is broken. Sorry, you can't see me. And it's like he's he's an essayist, and he's trying to teach the students to be honest in his essays. And the whale is kind of double meaning. Of course, the whale is him, but then the whale is also this essay that he always reads. That's the only thing that's keeping him alive, apparently. Whenever to calm himself down, he reads his favorite essay. That is just like a slightly childish essay about Moby Dick, and like stuff was revealed about that. It's interesting because he always just wants people to be honest and tell me something true instead of just like stating the facts about whatever the subject is. He's a very interesting guy, and I don't want to spoil too much about why I like him, because that's the reveal of everything is really well paced in the movie. But I can't help think that as a person that has lost almost 400 pounds, and I've done it without surgery, I've done it without any medicine, I've done it without any coaching or anything other than watching YouTube videos, I can't help to think that I wish I could try to get him to figure out how to lose the weight. And I know the ending is slightly open-ended, and I think I might talk a little bit about spoilers at the end, but I'll give fair warning. And it's interesting to look at there's you can calculate your daily caloric expenditure basically if you do nothing, and you can do different activity levels and see how much you burn as a human being. As we're biological machines, and you would burn just by living. You burn a certain amount of calories every day, and it's kind of to help you figure out in your diet, how you could lose weight, because you only have to eat 500 calories less than your maintenance level to lose a pound a week. And I couldn't help but think that, like, you see what he eats, and you have to think that he eats about like 2 pizzas every night, and that's like there's a little bit of a plot point with that, but like about the shame, and that's like he had a big binge at a certain point, but like that level, that is, when you're 600 pounds or over, or it's anything like that, it's easy to look at your diet and figure out why you're still gaining weight. There's a lot of, genetic and sociological and mental things that go into being obese. But, like, it's not, like, it's still just calories in, calories out in the end. And I think anyone can lose the weight if they try. It doesn't matter what got you to the weight you are, but you can control your life and lose the weight. But I tried to calculate his, like, what his calories were like. And, this is, even if to say that he is only 600 pounds, but, and using Brendan's age of 54 and his height of 6'2", like, if he, to gain 2 pounds a week, he'd have to eat, 5,358 calories. And to maintain his weight, he'd have to eat like 4,358 calories. And to lose 2 pounds a week, he'd have to eat 3,358 calories. And that if he is like in the 700s, you add like 500 to 1,000 calories more to each of those numbers. But and say that like an average large pizza is around 2,269 calories for the whole thing, and he eats 2 of them a night. So all he'd have to do to lose 2 pounds a week would be to eat 1 pizza a night instead of 2. Like, it's still not the most healthiest thing, but in the end, if the most important thing is to lose the weight, so all he'd have to do is eat 1 pizza a night. And if they're still hungry, you can maybe pop some low-calorie popcorn and maybe put some of dry pizza flavoring on top of it, the popcorn, if you wanted to still feel more full. Like, it'd be so easy. Like I said, that's the thing. It's losing weight is tough. I mean, it's incredibly difficult, and there's so much that goes into it. But in the end, it's also incredibly easy, especially if you are very heavy. It's like, and it gets more difficult, the more weight you lose, because the more weight you lose, the less your body burns doing nothing. But it's easier to move, so you can exercise more, then you can cut more things out. Like me personally, I lost the weight using just intermittent fasting, and that really helped me, because I think the biggest thing that caused me to be able to reach 800 pounds was cereal. Your Reese's Puffs. I ate like at least 2 to 3 bowls a day, and like that's what started my weight loss journey. Was in the 2019, the New Year's resolution was I was just going to eat 1 bowl of cereal, and I lasted like a week. And then after that, I was so ashamed and frustrated myself. I said, I'm not going to touch another bowl of cereal. And I haven't had any cereal in 4 years. And, that it's easy to figure out what is causing your weight gain and to cut it out of your diet. But that's not really what this movie is about. It would be easy for this movie to have an uplifting part where there's a montage of him like losing the weight, but that's not what this movie is. But I honestly really love this film, and it's not an easy watch. And I don't know if I'd want to watch it again, but because it's devastating, but it's incredibly well done, and I would recommend it. Probably give it like an 8.75 out of 10, or maybe even a 9 out of 10. But as for spoilers, so full spoilers now for the very end of the movie. Like, you see, after a lot of things are revealed, and like the big climax is, he thinks he's dying again, but he gets his daughter to read her poem, her essay, and he walks to her without using a wheelchair or his walker, and you see like right as she's going through a poem, you see him kind of like his feet lift up, and like it's almost like he's going to heaven. But at the same time, it's like I feel like with what he just said about, if there was a God, I'd hate to have him see. There was a heaven, and I'd hate to see have my boyfriend watching me do this to myself up there. But at the same time, I think Aronofsky is kind of religious, and maybe it is the happy ending of him is him, dying and going to heaven. But I have to think that that's not how his story ends, because it's still, I think, how devastating it would be for his daughter, because she's like to die right in front of her, and then two, if he was pretty close, what if he falls on her and kills her? That is like a relatively large possibility to me. The thing of what is like the open-endedness of the end, what did happen? Did he die and go to heaven? Or did he just pass out? And maybe that they could get an ambulance over and go save him? Because he has the money, and he could be a bariatric care, emergency bariatric care, because like they could give him heart surgery, and once he's stable, they could give him emergency bariatric surgery and have him on like a starvation diet, and he'd lose a lot of weight pretty quickly. And it still would be tough going, but he could do water therapy, which would actually work well with some of the stuff he said, like the last time, they talk about the last time he ever swam was with when they went to the beach with a daughter and ex-wife. And like there's like I feel like for me, I'm hopeful when I get I'm on my own journey. I feel like that is the ending I prefer in my brain, is that like he got treatment, and he was able to lose weight and be in his daughter's life, and he wouldn't die in front of her or on top of her, and like that he was able to live and maybe continue teaching. And there's a lot there for him. Like there's still a life there for him, even though like he misses the love of his life so much. I think that he would still want to see his daughter grow and not become a complete sociopath. Because I think that if he was in her life, maybe he could help guide her and right along a better path. But you see bits and pieces of what she does is so evil, but then you see maybe she's not as evil. That's kind of what I think happened in the ending. But let me know what you think about the ending. But thanks for watching. If you want to see more of me, you can subscribe down below. Thanks.